Hello, brothers and sisters. We're going to be talking about the Shroud of Turin. I'm going to be bringing forth things that I've found for myself, scripture, and also other people's work because, obviously nobody has the shroud in front of them for their self. So we just have to use what other people have done also along with our own research. So here we go. Jesus was buried in a cloth and laid in a tomb, and on this cloth remains the evidence, scientific, photographic, holographic, 3D, and X-ray information, making up the image. What is an image? A visual. Along with biological, forensic evidence, proving and matching scripture with the biblical account of the eyewitnesses. And the cloth itself is a witness. Very important. The cloth itself is a witness. A silent witness to what? The resurrection. The image was created by light in the infrared light spectrum in which our eyes cannot even see. The photographic negative is the true positive, a representation of seeing into the spiritual. In other words, a fulfillment of these scriptures. 1 Corinthians 15:51. And I just see that in itself is a mirror. 15:51. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So, when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought the pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? Mark 9:2. And after 6 days Jesus taketh with him Peter and James and John, and leadeth them up into a high mountain apart by themselves. And he was transfigured before them, and his raiment became shining, exceeding white as snow, so that no fuller on earth can white them. Now, let's move to this scripture, which you're going to find very, very fascinating. 2 Timothy 4:13. The cloak that I left in Troas with Carpus, when thou comest, bring with thee, and the books, but especially the parchments. This word that Paul uses, cloak, is used only one time. Paul is a very educated person, and he knows what words to use. So these are the words. This is what it's meaning: mantle, lighten, shine, fire, illuminated. In this word, this is what he's saying it in a sense to express these adjectives: wide, as in widest application; upper, as in high priest; light bringing, illuminated shroud. Okay, see this picture? This is a bunch of cows. Look what they've done. They have formed the cross. God works in mysterious ways, and he wants us to see things. He gave us eyes to see. And I just thought it was pretty amazing that some cows formed the cross. I just thought that was pretty amazing. You know what I see when I see this? On the left, I see the physical. On the right, I see the spiritual. On the left, I see this world, even though when we see this world, it's full of all this beauty and all of this detail and all of this amazing things that we can see. But then the picture on the right, how everything is even more detailed. That's seeing into the spiritual, how everything is like, how this picture on the right is illuminated, it's shining. So on the left you see the physical, on the right you see the spiritual. Okay, let's go to John 20:24. But Thomas, one of the 12, called Didymus, was not with them when Jesus came. The other disciples therefore said unto him, We have seen the Lord. But he said unto them, Except I shall see in his hands the prints of the nails, and put my finger into the print of the nails, and thrust my hand into his side, I will not believe. And after 8 days, again his disciples were with him, or were within, and Thomas was with them. Then came Jesus, the doors being shut, and stood in the midst, and said, Peace be unto you. Then saith he to Thomas, Reach hither thy finger, and behold my hands, and reach hither thy hand, and thrust it into my side, and be not faithless, but believing. And Thomas answered and said unto him, My Lord and my God. Jesus saith unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen, and yet have believed. Now I'll tell you what immediately pops into my mind. Jesus walking on water and calls Peter out to him. What does Peter do? He gets out and starts walking to the Lord. And then he starts noticing the storm, and he starts sinking. So what I think of is what our brother Michael, who has a channel called Ultimate Mordecai, he says, did the Lord laugh at him and say, oh man, what'd you do? Look, man, you didn't keep your eyes on me, and look what happened. You fell in the water. No, he goes over and plucks him out of the water. This is the same thing. Jesus doesn't tell Thomas, oh man, you blew it. All your fellow disciples told you, and you just didn't want to believe them, and well, man, I'm sorry. He didn't do that. He went and said, touch me, feel me, look at me. Let's go over some words. But I'm not going to read the whole scripture, just parts of it. Bought. For ye are bought with a price. Purchased. Which he hath purchased with his own blood. Redeemed. For as much as ye know that ye were not redeemed with corruptible things, but with the precious blood of Christ. Ransom. For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, and to give his life as a ransom for many. And Jesus said on the cross, it is finished, to say, complete, execute, conclude, discharge a debt, meaning as paid. So what am I saying here? In other words, you were bought with a price, a huge price, the ultimate price, and the shroud is your receipt. Luke 11:29 and 30. And when the people were gathered thick together, he began to say, This is an evil generation. They seek a sign, and there shall no sign be given it, but the sign of Jonas the prophet. For as Jonas was a sign unto the Ninevites, so shall also the Son of Man be to this generation. Jonah means dove and or wine. Sign means an indication, especially ceremonial or supernaturally. Miracle, sign, token, a wonder. So is this Jesus himself saying, I will leave a sign or a receipt? I will leave something that you can physically see as proof. Okay, one more scripture. John 20, verse 8. Then went in also the other disciple, which came first to the sepulchre, and he saw and believed. I would argue that what he saw was the shroud was still illuminated, just as Moses' face shone after spending time with God on the mountain. Okay, so I have tons and tons of more stuff, but just not enough time on these videos, so I can only have so much time. But there's some information to think about, pray about, and I'll put together another video as soon as I can, and then I'm just gonna read everything that I have. But I just wanted to do this for the biggest reason was to show the word cloak. Have a wonderful day, brothers and sisters. Oh yeah, and one more scripture. And Elijah took his mantle and wrapped it together and smote the waters, and they were divided hither and thither, so that they too went over on dry ground. And the reason that I'm giving you this scripture is because do I see the Shroud of Turin in Genesis chapter 1? Yes. Genesis 1:9. And God said, let the waters under the heavens be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. God bless you, my brothers and sisters. I have a lot of information, and it's coming soon. Have a wonderful day.